Sup, bitches? This is Dom, and you're listening to the Games Only podcast.
When you want to hear about games and only games, look no further. This is the Games Only podcast, your number one source for video game news, reviews, and opinions. With HP 1703.
In death as in life, I shall honor my brothers.
Dr. Gumar.
The boss is here at last, boys.
And myself,
Fresh victims.
Games Only podcast on iTunes and YouTube.
EpicWinBits.com is available, just $12.99. Hello and welcome to the Games Only podcast, episode 45. 45. I'm your host this evening, HP 1703. And my go-to dare is eating off a public bathroom.
Ooh.
Yeah. To my east, a man whose go-to dare is rubbing icy hot on your nether regions. It's Dr. Gumar.
It's like a turtle shell down there.
I don't know what that means. To my south and west, a man whose go-to dare is defecating in public. It's Sunflower 4000.
Why dress it up?
I don't know. That's why, yes.
Yes, I put flowers on my defecations.
Well, it'll grow. Let's talk about some games, shall we? It looks like we have all played a Xbox Live release this week. It came out a while ago on I think iOS. I'm talking, of course, about Spelunky.
It's a PC freeware game.
Okay. So it came out a while ago on PC, and now it was just released this week on Xbox Live Arcade and maybe PSN. I have no idea.
No, just Xbox.
Okay. So what do we think of Spelunky? So what is Spelunky? It is a die once and you're dead exploration kind of platformer, maybe?
Actually, no, because you can get killed or you can get hit a few times before dying.
It depends on your manner of dying, I guess.
It's a randomized dungeon crawler under the guise of a man raiding the underground for jewels and gold. But there are also enemies down there like snakes and bats, as well as traps that may kill you, make you frustrated, and maybe make you never want to play the game again.
Which
really?
might be Sunflower's case.
Not really. It just really, I didn't like the time that I spent with the demo, so I'm not going to buy it. Did anyone else play the demo?
I played the demo as well, and I don't know why I keep trying platformers and hoping that I might like them again, but I'm not a big platforming fan. They don't really hook me that well.
The good news is it's not a platformer, so you're totally...
I'm jumping from ledge to ledge in an attempt to not to die. It may be a mix. It might be a mix of genres. I'm sorry, but
well, this game invokes Demon Soul, Dark Souls, and Super Meat Boy to me.
It did have that Super Meat Boy feel because you can hold down a trigger to run.
It's true.
Super Meat Boy was a platformer, right?
That's also true.
Yeah. This other game was a platformer. What's your point?
That has similarities to this one.
It also has a title screen like lots of shooters.
Okay, well, I feel
like level ups like many RPGs.
I personally feel like it's a platformer, and because of that, I'm not enjoying it all that much. Yes, it does have RPG elements. It does have roguelike elements. It's technically a dungeon crawler. I do like the fact that every single level is randomly generated, so you're not replaying the same level over and over again once you continue to die.
Did they do that in any of the Super Mario Brother games?
Jump on platforms? Yes.
No, did they have any random levels?
Not to my knowledge.
They jumped on platforms.
Not really talking about platforms.
Okay. So this is not Super.
This is a legit question, guys.
This is not Super Mario Brothers. No, you're being a dick and trying to figure out what the connection is between platforms.
I do think he's asking an honest question. And to my knowledge, no. Nintendo's pretty
this is
pretty
a level
controlled about
how
their levels. Yeah, they want a very what's the word I'm looking for that sounds
progressive?
Sure, kind of clinical, like what?
Deliberate.
Yeah, well,
deliver it.
Yes, deliverance. Nintendo wants deliverance. And so they play banjos in the background. No, but I think they want their brand to be so controlled that they would never allow some kind of randomly generated level. Okay. Not for their flagship Mario.
Well, that's
although somebody will tell me I'm wrong. Maybe Bowser inside
maybe
stories.
That lesser brother Luigi had some random generated levels, but
yeah,
never Mario.
This is why I asked.
Well, okay, Spelunky cannot fall underneath one genre, but it does have hints of platforming games, and for that, I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
I'm glad I appeased you. I'm very happy.
Oh my God. Okay, so you didn't enjoy it. Sonny, you didn't enjoy it either?
I didn't. The platforming felt... I'm sorry. The jumping and running. The problem I had with the game was, and we've talked about this before with that game, A Valley Without Wind, when procedurally generated levels kind of lack a nice touch to them. You know,
you're missing the pizzazz.
Yeah, it can't do anything special. It's forced into the mediocrity of random generation. But that doesn't really seem like it's an obstacle in Spelunky. Everything kind of fits together, and I didn't have any issues with the randomization so far. And one of the things that this does in a game like this where you are battling strongly to continue and get further, it gives you the chance that maybe next time it'll be a little bit better. Just maybe. Maybe you can make it past. I think that's a smart choice for a game like this to make. However, the running and jumping on platforms, it felt okay. The weapons that you were given initially, although later on you can get other ones, they didn't really feel too good, and I felt helpless in a negative way, not in a cool survival horror way, but I don't know. Something about it was really not clicking with me, and it may have been the movement, it may have been the fact that I attach myself to every single ledge that I ever see. It was enough for me to say $15, no. And maybe I'm missing out on a wonderful game. I might be, but the fact that both of you guys are like, nah.
Maybe I'm not like, nah.
What?
I have purchased this game.
What? Did you blind buy it, or did you try the demo?
I did blind buy it.
So you're stuck with it now.
But I enjoy it more than the other two games I mentioned that it reminds me of which it reminds me.
A Valley Without Wind and Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yes, I enjoy it more. No, not Super Mario Bros. 3. No,
I was never a big fan of the third one. Just saying.
You don't like being raccoons? And
World was better than 3.
Whatever. And the whistles, whatever. It was in the movie The Wizard.
It was in The Wizard. It has to be a good game, period.
Right.
She did like Giant Land.
So, Spelunky does something for me that I really appreciate in that, yes, you're going to die over and over and over again, but it's not like it's a matter of memorization, which is something I find very tedious. It's one of the things I hate most about the Souls games is there's always the enemy right here. I know my shield needs to be up when I come around this corner because there's a dude right there, and that drives me insane. I find that supremely boring. So the fact that it's randomly generated means every time I go in, it's different. It's a new experience, and you can get better at the game without having to memorize the levels, and I appreciate that.
You got to memorize the gameplay. You got to memorize the little things.
Right.
How you're going to deal with them in different situations.
How do I defeat this enemy? Is this an enemy that I should avoid? Is there no way to defeat this enemy? What do all these power-ups that you mentioned, the different weapons and such, what do they do?
Yeah, the weapons do have a little interesting hook to it. Like, the bombs can actually blow through the floor. So if I don't feel like going around this way, I'm just going to blow a path down to the bottom, you can do that.
Yeah, and you also get a rope to go up. I think that's their way of getting around the fact that sometimes there isn't a good way to get where you're trying to go, and that's because of the random generation of the levels. But yeah, so long as you're conservative with the bombs and the ropes, you can get down or go back up wherever you need to. I don't know.
When I started doing research on this game, I found that's actually a free game on Windows that released a few years ago. And I'm like, well, if there's no way I would buy it for $15 on the Xbox, no matter how much I liked it or didn't like it, I could just play it on PC. Although the graphics on PC are, very 8-bit, very quaint. But, on HD, it's still a 2D platformer. Well, sorry, 2D style game on Xbox. It's a 2D video game. I can say
it's
2D.
a run and jumper.
I could say 2D, right? Is that okay?
It's a run and jumper.
Can we agree that this game is in 2 dimensions?
It's a whippy jumpy.
Actually, the 3rd dimension.
It's time.
Yeah. Regardless, it's one of those games where I can spend maybe 3 minutes and go through a couple levels and die and be fine and do something else. It's a great time killer type game. It doesn't feel like there's a heavy investment, although when you come up across stuff in the world that you want, like the compass, I found invaluable because it always points to the exit.
That is helpful. During the tutorial, I managed to wander past the exit and wonder why the hell I couldn't do what I was supposed to do.
It is really hard to see.
Sometimes it's hard to see the exit, and after
once you know what you're looking for, though, it's not so bad, right?
No, but sometimes I had one time where it was generated right at the edge of the world, and I kind of didn't see it. And after about 3 minutes, there's a ghost that comes into the level and will kill you instantly if it touches you. So
just like all those old school Nintendo games.
Yeah, so it keeps you moving. You can't do what I do a lot of time and just scour the whole level. You have to get going, and I kind of appreciate that. It keeps you moving in a way like the Soul games don't necessarily keep me moving, where I'm too tentative because I don't want to die.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you have to keep moving in this game. What were you going to say?
No, so you don't really like points. In this game, you're constantly collecting gold and jewels and gems, and there's some optional gems you can get to. Do you do all that? Because you don't like point scores or anything like that, score attacks.
No, but all of that money you can use to buy items in the game that will help you progress. So in that way,
it's not really a collection to you. It's more of a
currency.
Yeah. Yes, it's more currency, and there have been times where I'll just flat out, if I see the exit and I know I can get to it easily, I'll just leave, because I'm trying to make my way through the game. Once I actually do that, then I'll maybe, I don't know, it might lose its appeal at that point, but so there are all these different worlds. There's like the mines is where you start out, and then after I think it's 4 levels, you make it to the jungle, and then there are 4 levels there, and I don't even know what's beyond there because I've never gotten that far.
See, the only reason why I would buy this game is because they mentioned the deity called Olmec, and I was like, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, that's
fucking
exactly
sweet.
What I thought too, and it looked like
I was just like, let's rock. That's all I thought. Was Olmec saying, let's rock.
And the Silver Monkeys take the lead. Yeah, so I enjoy this game. I think you can spend $15 on worse things.
Have you played it multiplayer yet? Because I know it's multiplayer. I don't know if it's
only local.
It is. Okay, that's what the screen kind of looked like when I did it.
Yeah, and no, I have not. But I hear it's an amalgamation of. It's not really cooperative because there's so many different ways you can grief people. And the screen, I think the screen follows one character, so you could literally leave someone off screen and then they're done. Like, there's so many things in this world that will kill you. If you can't see your dude, might as well just hold still until you die.
Well, that makes it sound like a game, not that, but you're talking about it makes it sound like I'm going to give it another try. Maybe I can get past the controls. Those were really my biggest problems, and
what about
I don't know.
What about the controls? Is it the preciseness of the jumping, or is it that you cling to things and that's frustrating?
I think it's both. I mean, the clinging I'll get used to. It's the I'm hauling ass and I jump, and guess what? I don't just immediately stop. I have to, oh my lord, I'm dead. You know?
Yeah, I thought the controls were great. The jumping felt good, but I just don't like this style of game anymore. So it's more just a personal problem. But the game, if you like that style of jumping and running and whipping games, you'll probably like Spelunky.
Formation of plaid.
These landings in which you can jump from landing to landing.
From landing to landing, and occasionally on enemies.
It's a land running game.
So we have to include platforming onto our list of words not to say, like visceral and immersive, or else Sonny's just going to freak out and start talking about Super Mario Brothers.
It's not a platformer. I don't.
Well, what is it?
That's all.
It defies
genre. It is Spelunky, and that's it. That's all it is. That's all it ever will be.
So in the future, when there are games like it, it'll be kind of Spelunky.
Yeah.
All right.
These Spelunkier style of games.
It's Spelunkish.
So speaking of games that are like Spelunky and platformers, Doc, you've been playing some Spec Ops: The Line.
Oh man, let me tell you about this platformer right here.
Now, how far into Spec Ops are you?
I want to say at least halfway. I'm on chapter 9. I don't know how many chapters there are. I don't really like looking forward and saying, okay, I'm this close to the end.
10. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I'm like, oh, I'm almost there. But this game really drew me in. I mean, I played the demo of a month and a half ago, and there was a sale on Amazon that Sonny brought my attention to. I'm surprised he didn't buy it at the time, but it was $25 on PC.
Oh, wow.
For a game that was a week old, so of course I'm going to hop right on that and buy it.
Sale is still going on.
Sale is still going on, so I suggest you pick it up. And I'll tell you why right now. But it's a third-person shooter. I'm allowed to call it a third-person shooter, Sonny?
Don't look at me. It's in third person and you shoot people. That's good enough for me.
Oh, okay.
You guys are assholes. So it's a third-person shooter.
Yeah, it has the basic, cover-based mechanics, but it's really, really important to stay in cover. It does handle a lot of realism that I'll compare it to Gears, if I'm allowed to compare it. I'll compare it to Gears, in which you can get out of cover and just try and be like Rambo and mow a lot of people down. This you can't really do that. You hop out of cover and you're probably going to die, and die really, really quickly. The hit detection is really good, and it's really good on both you and the enemies. So if I shoot an enemy in the hand, it's going to, wiggle that hand around. It's not going to be able to shoot for a couple seconds. Three shots in the body, they're down. 1 shot in the head, they're down. If I try to Rambo like a machine gun, a turret, it's going to mow me down in 2 seconds. So it does have a lot of realism, and it helps with becoming immersed into the game.
Yay!
Yeah, it does a really excellent job. Even the storytelling helps out a lot too, because even after the first chapter, seeing a cutscene in which my character is just like sweating because he was ambushed, that does a lot for me, because it's not like he was just some superhuman that went out, killed 20 guys, and he was okay. He was out of breath, he was sweating, they're in the fucking desert, so the sun's beating down on them. So it's the story is really well done, and they have a lot of attention to detail. You are a Delta Squad captain, and you have 2 bros hanging with you, also Delta operators, that are going in and trying to figure out what happened in Abu Dhabi. What happened in Dubai after a sandstorm in which the military was called in. So it's a lot of confusion. I mean, even this far into the story, I still don't really know who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. I'm just doing my thing and running with it, and that element of always keeping you on your toes is really good.
I've heard that the story works in shades of gray, and that there are even elements to the story, like decisions that you can make. You're not sure which one is the quote right one to do because everything is just so. Yeah,
I ran into one decision like that in which it was like, okay, we can save these refugees, or I could save this CIA agent that could possibly help me along the line. And I'm kind of sure that regardless of what decision, the story would progress in the same way. But at that time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to pick, and each one of my guys in the team said, "Oh, I want to do this," and the other guy said, "I want to do that." So it's not like they were any help.
Interesting.
In picking the decision, and they have
very cool.
They do a lot of really graphic things with the story. Like there's one scene in which white phosphorus is being used on refugees, and I'm walking through it like a little bit afterwards. So it's really, really disturbing to watch. And then later on, I have the option to use that white phosphorus on enemies. It feels like a situation in which I'm completely outgunned. I'm going to die, so let's go ahead and use the white phosphorus. And then I had to walk through it afterwards, and it's not for the weakest stomach. It was really, really gruesome.
Now, I have also heard that they and I want you to be real careful because I look forward to playing the game, and I don't want you to spoil anything. But I hear that they become kind of unhinged insofar as like at the beginning of the game, your executions are very clinical and very military, and then as the game progresses, when you execute guys, it's very brutal and barbaric.
I haven't noticed much in terms of the executions, because I guess I shoot people like clean dead a lot. I make sure they're completely dead before I walk up to them. But even in their mannerisms, like while you're firing at somebody, you'll say one-liners and stuff like that. In the beginning, it's very clear-cut. Cover me, I'm reloading. Okay. Tango down, stuff like that. And after a certain point, which I just got past pretty recently, after a certain point, you can tell that they are really broken, and the main character's just swearing up and down, like, stay the fuck down, God damn it, I'm fucking reloading, just stuff like that. You can tell, like, just like that point, he's starting to snap, and it's rather apparent, but it's a really nice touch.
That sounds very cool. I like all those little touches. So, you're playing on PC? Any issue? Are you playing with a gamepad, or are you?
No, I did just order a gamepad, so I can use that. But the PC controls feel pretty good. Even like the tips that display on screen, they don't display in like the Xbox commands, like hit A. It actually says hit the space bar or something like that. So it all feels pretty good on the PC. So like between the realism, the great shooting mechanics, and just the story, this is definitely a buy if you're a fan of the shooter genre.
Awesome, and it's $25 on Steam right now. Is that?
It's on Amazon, but you can take that code and you could take that product code and punch it into Steam, and then it will be on Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This brings up an interesting bit of culture. I saw an article the other day about why game characters don't seem to give a crap about what they do. Like, nothing's ever amazing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in Max Payne 3, hanging from a helicopter and shooting dudes and then getting down and it's just another day. Can you think of any games where the characters have been like, holy crap, that was awesome? I can't.
I can think of, like, sidekicks doing that, like Barry and Alan Wake, for instance.
Gee, Marcus Phoenix, that was awesome.
He's, he's very adaptive to what's going on, and you can tell that it's not just like another walk in the park for him.
But like, where's your flashlight, Al?
Yeah, main characters. It doesn't really work that way for main characters.
Yeah,
I was just thinking. I couldn't think of much.
I mean, besides Shaquille O'Neal and Shaq Fu, I can't think of any other.
He knows how awesome he is in Shaq Fu.
I was playing some Just Cause, and I was like, yeah, try stealing oil now, you pipeline jerks. That's quite the quote. When gigantic explosions are happening.
Yeah, there is a disconnect, and maybe there has to be in most of these games between what the character's doing. Like, I don't know if they could comment on how amazing they're being without sounding, pretentious or.
But I don't think it's just a matter of like amazing, just not
disbelief.
They're like very like monotone when all this crazy stuff is happening most of the time.
Speaking of characters that do that, did you play some Max Payne HP? What's going on?
I have. I don't want to talk about it until I finish it. And I was trying desperately to finish it today, but I did not.
I do have Max Payne, and I just haven't played it yet. So
now you did purchase it though, HP, right?
Correct. It was on sale.
Are you regretting the purchase at all?
I think I can say definitively I do not enjoy it as much as you do.
Boo!
But I want to get all the way through the story because at some point in Chapter 2, so Max Payne 3's story is in 3 chapters, and they're very long. For a single-player campaign, it's a very, very nice length.
That's what she said.
Thank you for that.
Someone had to.
No one had to.
Yeah, no one had to. So somewhere in Chapter 2, the story lost my interest almost completely. It seemed trite, and in general, I have a problem with how little Max now cares for the flowery language he seemed to love in the first game. And I know that's a function of different writers, and maybe they can justify it in so far as he's seen all this shit, and now, he's not as verbose as he once was, but...
He's a tired Max.
He is a tired Max, but near the end of the second chapter and into the third chapter, I started getting interested again, so, again, I wanted to table the discussion for... when I'm finished, but...
Yes, sir. No problem, sir.
In a word, I am frustrated with Max Payne 3. That would be the word I would use for my... I apologize in advance.
It's not my fault.
It is your fault. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Sonny, why don't you tell me about... I'm assuming Dragon's Dogma?
Yeah, I played 20 minutes of it, and it's not hooking me.
Okay.
I really don't have anything more to say.
You did play 20 minutes of it, so...
I did play a whole 20 minutes, and I don't want to give up on it just yet, but something about the game makes my mouth feel like it's full of dirt, and I need, water. I don't know why.
I think it's...
You feel dehydrated?
Yeah, kind of. Everything feels dusty and...
the art style is a little grainy, I think mainly so they can have a very long draw distance.
Wait, it looks budget as fuck sometimes, like crazy budgety, like bad budget, like no budget. like I see a lace
like Robin
blouse
and
on
Ritz
a man,
crackers.
and it looks like N64 clothing.
That's fancy eating.
I don't know, and the fighting's not doing it for me, but there's still plenty of room for me to wiggle where I can try to enjoy the game just a little bit more with some different play styles, different ideas, but so far, nothing about this game has really grabbed me, and that makes me sad because I really wanted to throw 50 hours down the drain.
Have you seen a friend of the show, Dr. Gumar's Leslie Cotton?
That might also be part of it. I already know what's going to happen.
And I'm going slow through that game. If you played that game for maybe 2 hours, you might be pretty close to where I am. But I'm kind of forced to really enjoy the game because I'm looking at it from a different aspect when I'm playing it. And nice things about the game is that I can turn off the entire UI. So if I need to take a still shot, I'm recording, so I'm not going to take their in-screen still shot that puts all the crazy crap on it. But I can just pan the camera around and have nice cinematic views without a UI on there. That's really nice. But yeah, I can see some problems in the gameplay. And the world design. I have to walk really, really far, really, really often, and it gets kind of annoying after a little bit.
You ever want to take the Skyrim or Oblivion no fast travel challenge?
I would never do that for that game. At least
the Skyrim no fast travel challenge.
At least in Dragon's Dogma, the combat is interesting enough to me that it's not like Skyrim tedious, just kind of
You're tedious.
Roar.
Hey, it's time to visit High Hrothgar again. Let's walk up that mountain.
You're walking up a mountain.
Repeatedly.
You're repeatedly walking up a mountain. So, yeah, I have seen enough of Dragon's Dogmas from Doc's Leslie Cotton.
Critically acclaimed. I knew a critic who
award-winning.
And we have two voice actors. One's myself, the other one's HP 1703.
Hi, everybody.
It is a present-earning production.
So, yeah, I have seen enough of that game to know that I would not enjoy playing that game, but I am enjoying watching it, so that may be the route you eventually have to take, Sonny.
That's a little weird, because you like the open world games like Skyrim.
It does not look like a... I don't know. I'm with Sonny. For some reason...
It's
just the
dirt in the mouth. It does look dirty. I'm going to tell you that much. It looks pretty dirty.
It just doesn't look like a place I want to be for 60 hours or 80 hours or whatever. It's just, I don't know.
Maybe it's because my gamma's up too high.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's dusty and dirty.
Your gamma.
You can see too much. That's why.
Just all over town.
Yeah, you put sunglasses on when you play it. And then
I'll just turn down the gamma. I'll just turn the gamma back to normal.
Wear like a veil over your mouth. That way it doesn't get in there.
I don't know. There's something so Japanese about the character's movement. I don't like that. I don't know. I know that I wouldn't enjoy playing it. I can tell.
All right, no, that's fine. That's a weird comment, but I can understand that you might enjoy playing.
There's just something about the way Japanese...
It's a very particular kind of jank about it.
Yeah,
jank that you can't find anywhere else.
Except in
it's that Capcom jank?
Our friend to the west. Yes.
What?
You know.
It was the east, far east.
Nope. They're west of me.
Luckily, the world is a sphere, so if you keep going in one direction, you're going to hit it.
What?
Not if you go north. Anywho.
Speaking of not knowing geography, I finished Skylanders this week.
Was it a challenge ever?
At the end of the game, it kind of is the final boss. They want you to. There's an achievement for doing it without switching characters, and I found that difficult until I had leveled one of my characters up all the way to 10.
Draggy the Dragon.
Draggy the Dragon. That's right.
How many dolls did you buy?
How many dolls? I recommend you really do have to have one of each element to play this game.
And is that why you bought some more since the last time we talked?
So I have 9 in total, and I am probably going to buy more before Giants comes out in the fall.
But I thought you didn't really like the game that much.
It's super easy and stupid and in the beginning, and then as the game gets a little harder and you level your dudes up, it becomes a little more fun. I did play some co-op, and the cooperative stuff is tethered. You can't, like the old Lego games used to be, where you have to be kind of in the same...
Yeah, you mentioned that the other week.
Okay, and I don't recommend that.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's alright. Is it worth the probably $90-some spent. No.
That's where I was getting at. How much did you actually pay?
Yeah, no, it's not worth the price. But if you think about it, like, okay, when Giants comes out, I'll just have to buy the game because I will already have all these characters that will work with that game.
Is that a $60 game?
That's a good question. I think so. I think they're also selling the packs with the portals for, I don't know.
The problem is you don't exactly know what you're paying for. Is it because the toys are cheap or expensive? Or
he just doesn't know how much money he spent on the thing. That's the scary part. I think I spent around $90. It could be 120. I don't know.
It's over 90 and less than 300.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. For the price, probably not. After having purchased it already. If you already own this game, I say play it. And if you already own enough characters to have one of each element, go for it. Have a great time. I don't feel like the price point is still worth it for somebody who is just jumping into it. Although if you had kids, like, again, I think this could be some dope ass shit. Put that on your box, Skylanders.
HP says dope ass shit.
Dope ass shit.
Now, were you compelled to buy the additional figurines? Is that better than dolls? I call them figurines. The additional Skylanders.
Held.
From the gameplay itself, or just because you have that type of personality in which you want to complete everything?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
But there are specifically sections of levels that only open to a particular element character.
But you can beat the level without doing that, right?
Yes, you can beat the game with the starter pack if you want, which, it's the portal and then 3 characters. You could probably go through the entire game like that and be fine. But they incentivize the more Skylanders you have, the more experience you gain. So that they do incentivize the additional purchase, particularly if you like filling things up like I do, and you see there are empty slots in the picture.
Yes,
with
you love filling empty slots up. I got it.
Why do you fill me up, buttercup, baby? That's not how it goes? Okay.
Yes, that's how it goes. Yes, that's perfect. So right, like, having already made the investment, I enjoyed the game. So, like, if you have a friend who already owns this game and some figures and you can play it, then that's awesome.
Steal their shit.
Steal their shit. Reset all their characters to level 1. Yeah, so, right, I think when Giants comes out, I will be happy that I made these purchases, because that will allow me to go through the entire Giants game with all the characters and be able to open all the areas, if you know what I mean. God damn it. So yeah, that's Skylanders. An awkward thumbs up. Speaking of things I can't pronounce, Sonny, you want to speak briefly about Akai Katana Shin?
Oh, I thought you wanted to hear about my Lego Harry Potter adventure.
You want to talk about your Lego? Did you really play Lego Harry Potter again?
I went back to it, and I made some progress. I think I've learned all the spells, and it's time for me to go and start playing the actual game.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wow.
So I learned like a handful of spells from the Pig Academy, or whatever it's called. Pig Bumps? Pigwarts?
Hogwarts?
Hogwarts? Okay. I don't know any names. No one in this game speaks.
Can you read? Is there text that tells you you're in Hogwarts?
No. This is not.
Probably not.
So there's just a picture of a pig and like some messed up witch with like some warts on her face. And
there's a bunch of Legos, but in the Hogwarts College
school,
they sent me around to different.
Okay.
No, wait, what?
School for Wizardry and Witchcraft?
Well, call it what you like.
All right.
But I had to, collect items to put into a cauldron so I could drink super strength, which, was that in the movies? Super strength?
No, but they did have one that could turn you into, make you look like somebody else.
That is why this game is BS, and I have an advantage, because I wouldn't have known what to do if that wasn't in the movie. I would have, well, hey. So, yeah, I'm drinking hero potions, and I'm pulling and breaking things, so what's up?
But that huge cauldron in your video that's swirling around, that's for mixing potions, isn't it?
I don't know, I haven't used that
Oh
yet.
my god, that's for mixing potions.
I was in a class.
Don't ruin it. He's supposed to learn all this stuff on his own. Don't tell him what it does.
I had to fly on a broom like a witch, all sorts of crap. I'm no witch. What?
Oh, man. Did you play Quidditch, then? Is that what you were doing?
Someone threw a cup in the air and I had to catch the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that is? Catching a cup?
Sure.
I thought you had to find a lightning bug or something. I seem to remember a trailer where there was a bug that
Well, yeah, there's it's the golden snitch. It's a little ball with wings.
Snitches get stitches, bro.
That's
and that was not in the game.
That
there was
comes
no
from Harry Potter.
There were no snitches in the game. So, no one's going to jail this week. But, yeah, I think I finally got out of the Academy of the School of the Arts and all that, and the wavy way and
Pig
the
Bump
wizard,
School for the Arts.
The robes and the hats and the staff.
And the Jell-O pudding pops. Yes, we get it.
So I went outdoors and then I quit. So, am I on the way? You beat the game, right?
Oh, not this one, no.
Oh, spoilers.
You can go outside.
I went outdoors and I think the actual game's going to begin, much to my disappointment. But other than that, I did play Akai Katana, which is a two-dimensional shoot all of them up, where it's about scores and beating the game on 1 credit. For those who are already interested in this type of game, I'll say it's a really good game. I enjoy it very much. There's 3 different versions of the game that you can play, which is fun, with a bunch of different score mechanics in each one of them. But for people that maybe have never played a shoot 'em up or do not really enjoy them all that much, steer clear. This ain't for you.
Okay. That's it?
I give it a thumbs up, but only if you like this stuff.
Okay.
I give it a thumbs down if you like to be immersed in a game.
That's me. Okay,
Yep.
Thumbs down for me.
Well, if you were immersed in this game, HP, you'd die a lot, and that would be
This
good
is not
for
a
your
game
personality.
for you. This is like maybe a game for Doc if he feels like broadening his horizons, but it's not a game for you.
I'm all right with bullet hell games, but I get frustrated really quickly because I can't pick up on the patterns.
It's all about the patterns, and HP hates memorization.
Yay!
Patterns.
Remember things about me.
Of course, it's your birthday. Why wouldn't I?
Happy birthday!
When I start playing a game like that, it's kind of like, okay, I gotta learn the patterns, and then when bullets start flying at me, I'm like, the hell with this, and I'm just trying to dodge after that.
Well, you know. But if you know what the game is, I can say that it is a very good one. It's very fun, and it has plenty of content for people that enjoy those types of games. A lot of people won't notice this content on the surface. They'll be like, oh, so I don't get no power-ups in this one? Well, that's crap. It's a lot more nuanced than that, but it's not really something you want to spend time explaining to people. So, if you like shoot-'em-ups, if you like Blit Curtains, if you like Bullet Hell, it's a fun game. Very cool. Everyone else, steer clear. Next.
All right. Well, I mean, have you been playing anything else?
Just Cause 2 on my PC. I figured if I double dipped, I might as well double 100% it.
Yes.
Well, you did say you want to, spend 50 hours in a game, so I guess that
was
your choice.
Just Cause 2, for my money, is still so much enjoyment and so much fun just doing a lot of nothing. Like, it's relaxing. Explosions will be had.
Didn't you 100%? Am I making that up?
What was that?
Didn't you 100% this game?
Yes, sir. On the 360, I did.
Okay.
Now it's
wow.
time
So you're still enjoying it, even though you've already done everything once.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about Just Cause 2 is it has a really, really large open world that you're in, and part of my enjoyment with traversing it is seeing all the little tricks that they use to make it look bigger than it actually is, and to get a lot of really good visuals and the way things look and move out of something that should be extremely demanding. So it's kind of neat from not really an insider's perspective, because I'm not a game designer, but I can visualize these tricks and see how they're doing certain things, and it's fun to just play around in. It's truly the ultimate sandbox. Love Just Cause 2. Love it.
Do you know, are they working on a third one? Do you know?
I think that the second one was profitable enough that they can make a third.
Because that'd be great. I really enjoyed Just Cause 2 as well.
Yeah, and you did beat it. You played through that hilarious story.
I did. Indeed.
Yeah, that's very good, Sir Dadu.
God, yeah. I don't even know what that was.
Come with me, La. We will speak.
Nope. Worst accents, worst voice acting in game ever.
Really, fan. If you have never played Just Cause 2, this is just a reminder that you should buy it, no matter what platform, because it's lots of fun.
It's lots of fun, and you can find it pretty cheap by now, I would say.
Yeah, if you're playing it on PC, you will be able to find it for $5 during a sale. If there is no sale, you're looking at spending a cool $10. So, certainly worth it.
Yeah, I have it somewhere on Steam. I just haven't played it yet.
I bought it for $60, and it was worth it. So, and it's got a hell of a lot of gameplay. It took me like 60 hours to 100% it or something like that. So,
wow.
Speaking about sales and PCs, yo, Sonny, where's our Steam sale at?
I don't know. I don't work for Steam.
Dude, you've been talking about it for weeks now, and you've been pissing me off because I want it.
I wasn't
even thinking about it until you mentioned it, and I'm like, oh snap, there are summer sales.
I'm also hurting. It hurts.
What do you want to find on sale?
Like all this money to set aside. Please.
Please make me spend my money.
Please, I'm back to PlayStation Network, man. Please.
Shifting gears for no reason, I did pop in the single player of Battlefield 3 for a while.
It's really bad, isn't it?
It's one of those games.
Badly fieldy.
I did an entire night level, and I have realized that I absolutely despise night levels in shooters. Because you can't.
I think that's where I stopped playing.
Okay. Well, I made it all the way through the night level, so that was a thing.
Well, the thing is, with night levels, you're robbed of like any type of real visual spectacle, and that kind of stinks. When what we're looking for are really fun visuals, not necessarily the only thing we're looking for, but having something that is beautiful rarely happens at night in a game.
Yeah, I will say DICE did a good job in so far as, there's muzzle flare that happens when you shoot, and so that's like a stark contrast against the dark background. So you can tell where dudes are just because the flash of their gun when they shoot. So that, in a way, that was cool. That was worth it, but the level was far too long.
Yeah, I hear you.
And there was one time, though, that because it was so dark, I was able to sneak around a tank, which I don't think would happen during the daylight. And I was lighting this tank up from behind with a javelin, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
You like
them tanks, yep.
That tank, get it right in your gas tank.
Yeah, I didn't like the Battlefield 3 single player at all. Modern Warfare, I can play those single players because that's like watching a movie, eating some popcorn.
Right.
And this was just like tiresome and tedious.
It needed the character that the Bad Company games brought.
Yeah,
those were really fun, especially the first one. Boy, that story really went out in the middle of crazy land.
Yeah, and
people starting wars on other countries on accident and all sorts of crap.
And you enjoyed just kind of listening to the banter in between firefights. It was.
I'd rather listen to banter than get it done, gentlemen.
Right. Like, I think, hopefully, we're approaching an area where the very military proper shooter is kind of making its way to kind of a more character-driven, interesting. I played Battlefield 3 and then Max Payne, and I was like, the difference in storytelling and in characterization is it's night and day, and hopefully we wean towards Max Payne a little more than this, like, I'm just some nameless grunt who's shooting a bunch of guns. And
let's bring up Spec Ops: The Line. Like Doc said, it has a little bit more of a third dimension to it, and as far as storytelling goes. I mean, does it feel kind of like the Apocalypse Now as compared to the Platoons of the world?
Yeah, I would say so.
It's got it's a different. It's just a very different type of game, despite it being in the same setting and the same general mechanics. It can still take it in very different directions. I think that's something I'm really interested in.
Yeah, and hopefully, maybe because we've reached the end of this console's life cycle and there isn't a whole lot more they can do with the graphics, maybe we'll actually get some better storytelling in our
These are things that I hope for. I very much hope for. Because graphics are nice, but they ain't everything.
That, indeed.
And you know what? Gameplay's nice too, but that's not everything either.
Yeah, it needs to be all mixed together, I think. I think we can agree on that.
Well, it really depends on where it excels. Like Geometry Wars 2, I'm not dying for a better story. I'm not dying for a better story out of Super Mario Brothers 2 on the Wii.
But I was about to say,
I'm dying for a better story. So, Super Mario 2 at least had a better story than, like, 1 or 3.
Yeah, the whistles. Go ahead,
right?
Tell me about the whistles, HP.
I will tell you everything about the whistles. You
blow them and, like, a hurricane comes
it's a hurricane.
Fly away.
Honest to goodness, let's talk about this right now. What's the best Super Mario game? I'm going with World. I loved it.
Oh, was
that the
SNES?
Yes, it was. It had the most content out of all the games. It had the best mechanics.
It had a secret world inside a secret world.
Yeah, man. Star Road.
Yeah, Star Road and then Special.
Yeah.
That's the one I did not play. Because I did not have a Super Nintendo.
I might have to agree that it's probably the best one, but I also enjoyed Super Mario Brothers RPG, but I don't think that's going to count. So,
how does that not count?
By me, but I'm looking for the platformer.
Yeah, I know. I figured that's what he was looking for. So,
well,
that runny, jumpy, shooty fireball game style.
So where does 64 fit into this equation?
I think
we all liked it.
64 is probably my favorite because I never played the SNES one.
Really? Never ever?
No, I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up.
It is probably the pinnacle of 2D runny, jumpy, shooty. Slidey games.
Do you still have your Wii, HP?
I do. I also have a retro duo that plays SNES and Nintendo games.
I really, really would pressure you to either buy it on Virtual Console or find the cartridge because it's platforming bliss, man. It is really good.
Now, when you say platforming, what do you mean?
I got a dog standing on me.
It's kind of like a Spelunky.
It's
There's no loot. There's no death.
There's coins, and you can fall into
no death?
I mean...
that dog was so heavy. Why did she jump on my chest?
Because you're laying down on the floor.
Yeah, well.
And because you're eating dog treats.
Not true.
I did play one other thing this week. I played the endings for Mass Effect 3.
Oh! Why didn't you mention that, mother?
I completely forgot. They completely just fell out of my mind.
So which color ending did you go with this time?
Well, last week you mentioned that there was a fourth special ending, and before I started playing the game, I'm like, what path could I take to do the fourth ending? And I said, I know what I can do, and I did it, and I was disappointed as fuck. Because it's the worst ending.
It is the worst ending, and I did it on accident.
It's the most depressing ending. I did it on purpose. It's like, god damn it, that was bad.
So yeah,
it's pretty much a total defeat ending. You're an asshole. You could have saved the universe.
And you
did. But I did watch all the endings on YouTube, and they are definitely leaps and bounds better than the original endings. I think if these were actually in the original game, I don't think anybody really would have complained so much about the endings. The only thing that's missing is the fact that everything you did in the entire story doesn't really have an effect on the endings at all. Save for one ending where you take control of some object or another, in which your voice sounds kind of different depending on if you're a Renegade or Paragon. But the endings were much, much better in my opinion, and I'm very happy to have them.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week or whenever the hell I played it, that if you're going into Mass Effect 3 fresh, not having played it before these new endings came out, I don't know that you would be dissatisfied at all with the endings. And I know Sonny wasn't dissatisfied in the first place, but I think they enriched the ending experience enough that there's really nothing to complain about, except maybe that you don't like your different choices.
Yeah. I was dissatisfied in the first game simply because all the endings were almost exactly the same. In this game, they flesh out a little bit more of what happens and the difference between the endings. But in the original endings were pretty much a color difference, and maybe someone who steps out of the normity is not there and is somebody else.
Yeah, it gives you a better sense of what your decision is going to do, and then what it did after you make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely worth if you haven't played Mass Effect 3 but are going to. You really need to pick this up and just play through the game with the extended endings.
And one more game that's been played.
Yes?
Operation Raccoon City.
Oh, yeah. So you finally finished it this week.
I did. I finished the game thanks to HP's powerful presence.
Thanks to my cheating character.
His powerful presence. Yeah, I got it.
So having put this game down for so long, finishing it finally now, what are your thoughts about?
Boy,
Uh-huh.
This game is a lot more fun with a friend. A lot more fun.
Yeah, I feel like I was a bit spoiled by coming.
Yeah, but don't look back. Don't look back. You experienced it in a great way as compared to the way I experienced it on release. Lots of fun with a friend. See it for under $20. Buy it. Thumbs up.
Yeah. If you still have friends who still own this game, which is a proposition in and of itself, then yeah, it's worth picking up.
So buy 2 copies for $20, give it to a friend, and then you might enjoy the game.
There you go.
I really think that's a good way to go. And
yeah. And just 2 people's fine. You don't necessarily need to have a full squad of 4 to enjoy yourselves. But, it's the 2 human of the Resident Evil world. It's a much more cohesive story. Much more cohesive. I'll never forget our time in 2 human HP because it made no sense. We killed a random enemy.
It skips all the cutscenes if you're co-op, right, in 2 human?
Oh my god, it does worse than that. We killed what appeared to be the final boss, and then a timer appeared, and we had to run and kill more enemies. And then we got to, an open window, and then the game was over. Yeah. It was so damn weird. God, that was weird.
Sounds like the end of the Cursed Crusade, in which it's like, hey, you're over, guess what, see you later.
I really wish I could remember which game's which, because I did buy the first Templar instead of the Cursed Crusade.
Well, look, you would remember the ending as not actually being an ending. It would be them running out of time or money to finish the game.
Yeah, 2 Human was really special, because as soon as we got done with it, I started a new 1-player game, and the game was completely different. There was a hub world with shops, stuff that we never saw.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah, not even kidding. Cinemas. It was weird.
It
was cool
weird.
Too.
That middle, I think wasn't there just 3 levels or something?
I think it was 4, because one of them stretched for a universe and a half. The second one, the forest.
Oh my god, yeah, the forest took forever.
Had man cannons. Yeah, it was horrible. So
the man cannons was pretty awesome though.
Yeah, Human. Quite the interesting journey.
A landmark in gaming history. Yeah, so I think that's it for this week. Hoping to get my hands on Spec Ops for next week.
Finish Max Payne.
I'm hoping to finish Max Payne.
And Doc needs to beat Max Payne before you do.
I got to start Max Payne.
Maxwell!
And hopefully there's a Steam sale, and hopefully Sins of a Solar Empire Retribution, or whatever the new one is on sale, and I can buy it.
There'll be a Steam sale.
One day in the future, maybe around Christmas, there will be a Steam sale.
Are there other games you're looking for that to be on sale? I know I would love if the new Magic the Gathering was on sale. I would eat that up.
It's already like $10, isn't it?
If it was like $2, I would buy it 5 times.
It's only $10, man. Just buy it anyway.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm looking for like full price games to go on sale. Not like $10. Like $10 ducats, as Sonny would put, I wipe my ass with $10.
Well, then give me $10 and I will use it.
Allow me to wipe my ass with it first, and then I'll be sure to give it to you.
This is how I get most of my food. What are you looking for to be on sale? Like besides Sins?
I don't know, because I mean, during Christmas, I think I was slightly disappointed because I felt like I had enough games on Steam that I haven't played yet, that nothing else new coming like on sale is actually going to impress me. So I'm not entirely sure yet. But when I see the sale and I get a hard on, I'm like, I'm buying that right now.
Well, good. And Sonny, are you looking for anything in particular? You already own every game twice, don't you?
You know, I'm looking for some good games to go on sale so I could gift them to our non-PC player, HP 1703.
Yay, that's me.
Yeah, it certainly is him. I'm just looking for more games I've never heard of so I can fill my library.
Huh.
Someday, you sons of bitches, someday I'll play you. I did pick up Crusader Kings 2 from the Amazon sale, and I played it for a cool 20 minutes.
It's called the Cursed Crusade. It's called the Cursed Crusade.
No, Crusader Kings, is that the one with a cool Game of Thrones mod?
I wouldn't know. I didn't.
I heard one game that I had no interest in, and then all of a sudden maybe I was interested in, had a Game of Thrones mod, like one of those games like that.
Civilization.
Yeah, it could be Civ. Instead of Gandhi, it's one of the Starks.
And I also grabbed the new Shogun 2 expansion, The Fall of the Samurai, where you play as 19th century Americans or Japanese people and imperialists and all that business. So
Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai.
Pretty much. It's that kind of stuff. But, there haven't really been very many games that deal with that time period, and I'm looking forward to stamping out the Japanese with muskets. And ironclads.
And on that note, I think that's the podcast for this week. I'd like to thank all of you for listening. Please leave a comment. It feels like we're talking to ourselves sometimes. I'd like to thank Sonny.
You're welcome.
And you thanked him first. He was confused. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Should I always go in order?
Well, if you start when you start the show, if you ask him what game did he play first, he'll freak out. So that's obviously out of the question.
I forgot. I'm so sorry, Sunflower.
So you always have to save it for
send my thank you until now. Thank you, Sunflower.
You're welcome.
And thank all of you for listening. We appreciate your comments and your likes and your Twitter tweet forward retweeting, sharing, anything to get the word out.
Anything on social media.
We appreciate your support. And thank you so much. We will talk at you next week.
Yep. Hopefully by next week there's some Railworks trains on sale that Sonny can buy.
Oh yeah. And he's asleep. So have a good week, everybody.
Later, guys.
Yeah, yeah. fever, disco fever, disco fever, yeah, 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 yeah. Disco fever, disco fever, disco fever, yeah, 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 yeah. Disco fever, disco fever, disco fever, yeah, yeah.